Hi YouTube, it's Diva Clarice, and how's it going? Hoping everyone's having a good day today. It's Thursday, the 18th of January, midway through the first month of the year, and I want to wish you a Happy New Year, a belated Happy New Year. Today is my first ever Red Chair Talks with Clarice, and this is where I talk about topics that interest me, maybe philosophical, maybe a current event, whatever sort of takes my fancy. So it won't be necessarily a weekly thing like my Spanish Dreaming playlist is at the moment, but I may have something that will just pop into my head that I want to make a comment about. Now, whatever I say is just my opinion, based on my experience or through talking with other people or personal experience as well. So I want to talk about, as I said, I know I'm pretty late with this topic, but I want to tell you that I think it's important to know that it's okay not to have a New Year's resolution and that it is not even necessary. And the reason why I want to say this is because, especially on the 18th of January, a lot of New Year's resolutions have gone by the wayside. 2-3 weeks in, when the clock strikes midnight on the 1st of January of every year, everyone makes these very grandiose, transformative goals and dreams. And we set the bar a little high. Now, I know we live on this premise of dream big. I'm not a big dreamer. What I am is a bigger picture person. And I'm going to explain that to you now. So I will set what is a reasonable goal or have a reasonable dream, one that I can achieve within a short term, a mid-term, or a long term. And I think about not being transformed by that goal or that dream I have, but I think about evolving into it. There is a difference between transformation and evolution. So when people set a New Year's resolution, they go, okay, I'm going to lose in 3 months 20 kilos. How are you going to lose that? Come January, come February, you've maybe only lost about 5 kilos. And you start to get disappointed in yourself. You get disillusioned. You feel let down. So then you give up. You go back to your old habits. You've tried to do something very, very fast in a very, very short time frame, and it's not reasonable. Well, if you say to yourself something like, thinking of the evolutionary aspect, so you're starting at one point and then incrementally, and a little bit slowly, and in a reasonable time frame, because that is your plan, you aim towards that goal. So you might say to yourself, you know what? I'm going to join a gym if you've got the money. And I'm going to work out 3 times a week. I'm going to do 150 minutes of cardio 3-4 times a week. I'm going to add some weights as well because that builds muscle and it burns fat. So you might think of it like that. I'm not a gym expert. I like going to the gym, but I'm not an expert. I'm not a trainer. But you can make a plan by talking to a personal trainer or someone who works in that gym. It could be that you just think to yourself, I'm going to lose some weight. I'm going to see if I can lose 3 kilos in a month. So what do I have to do? I have to go for a walk 5 times a week, 40 minutes 5 times a week. I need the gear. So, okay, invest in a good pair of walking shoes. Don't go, I'm going to run a marathon in 3 months, or I'm going to take up running. Set yourself a reasonable plan. It's the same with maybe anything like, okay, I'm going to learn a language. What do I want to do? Make a plan. Don't think on transformation. Think on evolution. Transformation is instantaneous results. And the trouble with a New Year's resolution is that we want that transformation. We're not thinking of something that can be done in a short-term plan. and a short-term goal, and a medium-term plan with a medium-term goal, and a long-term plan with a long-term goal. If I was going to go, I want to be fit to run a marathon, then that's a lot of planning, so it's a longer goal. It might be something like, I want to, if you were a singer, for example, you want to go on The Voice, then you have to train, right? But what is the realistic time frame to be good enough to put forward a good audition tape, good audition recording, to potentially be taken seriously to get on the show and get on a live show of X Factor or Voice, if that's your goal as a musician? So you have to think of evolution and not transformation. And evolution is having a dream, having a goal that is reasonable, and then making a plan that has a reasonable time frame to get there as well. So for me, I don't make New Year's resolutions. I don't turn around and say to myself, I'm going to, as I said, using the old gym example, I'm going to drop 20 kilos in 2-3 months. Because it's not going to happen. What would I have to do to make that happen in a 3-month time scale? Where my attitude might be, okay, I'm going to bring in some weights. I'm going to switch up my exercise routine a little bit. I'm going to speak to some trainers, people with real advice, real knowledge, proper education. You know, you go to the source and you go, okay, I need to lose a bit of weight. And they'll advise you what to do. Yeah, they'll give you a program. They might advise you on certain things you can eat, so that when you're exercising to burn off, you know, your calorie deficit or whatever they call it, that you don't get tired. So it might be that you have to eat more protein. You've got to think these things through, because the evolution is you might lose that 20 kilos or that 10 kilos in 6 months or 9 months. Without feeling tired, without feeling sick, without feeling disheartened because you haven't lost that magical marker on the scales every single day or week when you check in with yourself. If you fall off the wagon, yeah, it's a birthday, it's a Valentine's Day, going out for dinner and having treats or something like this, or you just have a week where you're feeling, you know, I just can't be bothered this week. I feel weak. I feel tired. Maybe I feel a bit down. Then you need a long-term goal, so that you go to yourself, do you know what? This isn't a failure. This is just a blip in the road. This is just a little bit of a continuance towards making my dream or my goal a reality. So New Year's resolutions, forget about them. They don't work. They don't work. So don't think about transformation. Don't think about, I'm going to be this different person. It's going to make me better. I'm going to be completely new. Set a goal. Look at yourself. Look at what you want. Look at what you need. Work it out. And think about an evolutionary process. And that takes a bit of time, and it takes a bit of planning, and it also takes a bit of goal setting. Think incrementally. Think of that you're going to be having peaks and troughs. So it's not about, when you meet a hurdle, giving in. It just means you can rationalize it for yourself and go, look, this doesn't have to happen next month. What if you want to go on a holiday? Again, would you, so unless you have the money in your pocket to just pick up and, you know, go, then you've got to make a plan. You've got to have a vision. You've got to have a dream. So you work out how you're going to get the money, right? Because airline tickets, as I said, unless you've got money already, it's not going to fall out of the sky for you. You've got to make a plan. So save my airline ticket first. Have an idea of where I want to go. That's a 1, 2, actually, they're kind of the same thing. Where do I want to go? How much money is it going to cost me to go when I want to go? And again, be prepared to adapt. Evolutionary process, evolutionary planning, evolutionary thinking. So it might be, okay, I can't go in summer because summer is expensive. Might have to go October. Might have to go next spring. because this spring it's not possible. Because then you're not deferring hope and getting disheartened. And nobody wants that. You know, it's good to dream big. It's good to plan big. But you've got to be realistic with yourself. And you've got to give yourself a little bit of leeway for when life throws you that curveball. And if your idea is complete transformation, and that's what New Year's resolutions do for a lot of people, I'm suddenly going to be this different. New year, new me. What about New Year, same me? But with a few milestones thrown in and a few things to look forward to, a few plans to look forward to. And that you can reasonably do in a reasonable time frame that allows for when life can get in the way. So you may have to pause for a while. You may have to stop and take a breath. You might get slightly sidetracked as well from that goal, but you're still moving towards its completion because you haven't set your bar so high that it's unachievable, it's unreasonable, and it's unattainable. That's why, as I said before, and I keep saying again, I don't make New Year's resolutions, and it's not necessary for you to do it either. Never think on transformation when it comes to achieving dreams or having dreams. Think about evolution. Having your dream, setting your goal, and working towards it in a reasonable time frame. You know what they say, Rome was never built in a day. So why should a dream suddenly be instantaneous for us? Why can't we make a plan and do it the slow way, the careful way? Because this time next year, whatever that dream is, you could have it in your hand. Could be good to go. You know, that book you wanted to start and complete. You know, that baby you wanted to have. Anything that you can achieve, that you can visualize, you can achieve it as long as you're realistic and as long as you're looking at it that it's not going to transform you. That this is something that you attain as part of your life. And it's reasonable and it's achievable. So that's what I wanted to say to you today. And I hope that what I say resonates with you on some level. That it is not necessary to have a New Year's resolution. Because there's a good chance you're going to fail. And the one thing I don't want anyone to have to feel is the fear and the disappointment and the letdown of failure, because the dream was not applicable to you and it wasn't achievable in your life. So I hope you enjoyed this little talk today, this Red Chair Talks with Clarice. This will be the first of more. As I said, it's not going to be a regular thing because I'm not a life coach, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a therapist, I'm not an expert in these things. This is my opinion, my little drops of wisdom, my little feminine perspective. And if you have any ideas, thoughts or comments, absolutely feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. I really appreciate this journey, and this is part of my evolutionary process in my creative side and in my philosophical side. My lady brain is very creative, so this is another thing that I'm doing. And I hope to see you soon. So keep being you, keep striving, keep dreaming, and sending love. Bye. Bye.